Netflix Beef Shocking Finale Revelation. Hey guys, today we are going to be taking a look at Netflix Beef Shocking Finale Revelation. Let's get right into it. On April 6, Netflix released all 10 episodes of Beef, which quickly became one of the most talked about and well-liked new series of 2023. The show features Wong and Yeun, both known for their comedic talents but delivering outstanding performances that showcase their dramatic range. Created by Lee Seung-jin, the show has a 98% positive rating from critics and an 86% approval rating from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. Beef follows the story of Amy Lau and Danny Cho after a road rage incident that draws national attention and unexpectedly intertwines their lives. What sets Beef apart is its ability to blend dark humor and emotional drama with surreal moments and bold explorations of social issues like race, class, and mental health. These elements have resonated with viewers, making Beef one of the most watched programs on Netflix. As recently reported by The Wrap, the first 3 episodes of the show are currently among the top 10 most watched programs on the streaming platform. The season finale, Amy and Danny are brought together again as they both attend a therapy session. The episode reveals that the road rage incident was not as straightforward as it seemed, and Danny had been struggling with mental health issues that influenced his behavior. The emotional scene concludes with Amy forgiving Danny and the two sharing a hug. Fortunately, you can binge watch all 10 episodes of Beef in one go. Just be careful not to run into the show's feuding characters, Amy or Danny, while you are behind the wheel. In case you have already seen the entire first season, we have prepared a helpful summary that breaks down what happens, how it happens, and what it all means. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Why do Wong and Yeun's characters start fighting in the first place? What begins as a minor altercations in a hardware store parking lot quickly escalates into stalking, vandalism, affairs, kidnapping, and even death. As we learn throughout Season 1, Danny and Amy are both Asian Americans who have struggled to find acceptance and love from their predominantly white surroundings. They both grew up feeling at odds with their parents and have carried that sense of rejection and anger into their adult lives. Despite their differences in class and financial stability, they both feel trapped in their circumstances. Amy is under pressure to provide for her family and close a $10 million art deal with a wealthy and unpleasant Jordan. Meanwhile, Danny runs his own handyman company and tries to be a positive influence on his brother Paul. In the beginning of the series, Danny even attempts suicide. Although they share many similarities, Danny and Amy are unaware of their commonalities. Instead, they use each other as a target for their pent-up anger and frustration. By the end of the season, however, they both come to realize that they have more in common than they initially thought. If you are gearing up for the Beef Season 1 finale, there are some important plot points you need to keep in mind. The show covers a year in the lives of its characters and includes a range of dramatic incidents. Among them is an affair between Amy and Paul, which occurs after she poses as her own assistant to catfish him. Meanwhile, Danny finds his way back to his religious roots in an evangelical church, only to commit fraud with a construction loan. The series takes a dark turn when Danny and George, Amy's husband, get into a physical altercation in her home. Danny leaves in his truck, only to discover that Amy's daughter June is in the back seat. Danny doesn't know what to do and starts packing for Mexico when his recently released cousin Isaac returns and demands a $500,000 ransom for June's safe return. Amy offers to help with the heist of Jordan's estate to raise the money, but things go terribly wrong and Jordan dies in her panic room. Despite several violent incidents throughout the season, the finale leaves only one character dead. George's mother falls down the stairs, and Michael, one of Isaac's henchmen, is shot by police. George is knocked unconscious by Danny, and Paul is shot but survives. The season ends with Danny and Amy crashing off a cliff in the desert. Alone and injured, they must work together to survive, and their conversation reveals that they have more in common than they ever realized. They make it back to civilization, but their troubles aren't over. George shows up and pulls a gun on them, seeing them arm in arm. The episode ends on a cliffhanger, leaving viewers wondering what will happen next. After surviving the shooting, Danny is shown recovering in a hospital bed with Amy, also a patient, sitting by his side. As they reflect on the events of the past year, they realize that they have both been able to find freedom throughout their relationship. Amy climbs into bed with Danny, and he wraps his arm around her back. So, do Amy and Danny end up together? Yes, in a physical sense. The season ends with them sharing a bed. However, it's unlikely that they have completely forgiven and forgotten the dark history they share. Nevertheless, they now understand each other's pain and inner turmoil, and they were able to express their emotions without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. As Amy expressed in therapy earlier in the season, they now see each other with an air of unconditional love. They were there for each other through the light and through the darkness, but it remains unclear whether there are brighter days ahead of them. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.